concluding part 2 of the Prison Break game that I am putting together. It is based on the recent DLC for the Uncharted 4, which has a prison scene in it from the game itself, which they've now turned into a map for the multiplayer game, and I thought it was a really cool map, and it would do well with Disney Infinity as well, just putting the Disney twist on it. So what we're doing right now is I've gone back and kind of done a walkthrough of the Uncharted map a couple of more times, and there's some adjustments I'm going to make here. Obviously the video is going in fast forward just for the interest of getting it done within time frames, and this will be about a 16-minute video, so otherwise it would be like 40 minutes long, and I just didn't want to drag it out that long. Most of you have already seen these techniques and know what's going on, though, even at the faster speed. What I'm doing right now is using a replayer so that I can merge two pieces together and they can occupy the same place at the same time, which generally speaking would be a collision that the system would not allow to happen. So as I place these planks in place with the replayer, then I just come over to the replayer, make them go away for a minute, but it's being stored. Then I can move the piece in that I want, like so, and then when I go to hit play back on the replayer, it'll insert those other two panels, and it will ignore the fact that the other piece is there and allow the collision to take place. So I've been doing a lot of thinking as to what I want to do with this game so far as the gameplay portion of it. With the servers going down in the not too distant future, and if you're not aware, March 3rd is the day, it's going to be a lot less multiplayer and a lot more single-player gaming when it comes to Disney Infinity. So this will actually have two different variations. I'm going to use the exact same map, obviously, but this first version I'm putting out is going to be the single-player, and then I will just go in and delete all that logic and make a multiplayer where two people can go head-to-head, because once the servers go down, you can still have, you know, siblings, family, friends, whatever, over at the house, and still go 1 versus 1. So that'll be the second variation of this game once I get to that point. But right now we're going to be focusing on the single player. Part of what I liked about the map is that there were so many different layers to it. When you're outside of the prison, you're obviously ground level, but then it just kept on going up another level. There were so many different doors and little secret nooks and crannies to jump in out of and jump in and jump out of, and I wanted to put as much of that into this as I could. There's no way that I was going to be able to reproduce the exact map, but I think I do have a lot of the key elements and definitely kept the feel of what they put out. And again, this is the Uncharted map is one of my favorite all-time multiplayers for the prison. I just think it's a really, really great map for multiplayer combat. So many different opportunities to be had. So we're going to try and make that and recreate that right here with Disney Infinity. Again, same trick as earlier. I just want to even off the platform here as you first enter the second tier of the prison. So I guess you have the holding cells when you first enter, and now you're into like the general population area on the second tier. Decided to go to a lot of the dumb brick walls because that is kind of the same time period and effect that the prison has in Uncharted. Not quite the same, but for what we have to work with, it will definitely suffice. And again, there are more cells up along the way here. The break you see in the platform is pretty much identical to the one that they have in the Uncharted map. So I'm going to let this play through for a little while, but I'll be back with more commentary on what was going on the build. So you can see here the general population cells are pretty much set up. You're seeing the after effect. Unfortunately, I didn't capture the video for installing the gate doors or the prison doors inside of the block, but it's very simple. When you're using the wood blocks, it's very, very simple to override the collision. All you have to do is take a trigger box, the yellow one, and place it over the wood block, and then you can pretty much insert almost anything at that point in time without the collision. So all I did at that point was put the lock gate directly where I wanted it to be, and then just get rid of the collision that way, and then remove the trigger box when I'm done. So once again, we're going to have a collision here, and we're going to go back to the path tool and use that to make the wall conform right to the entryway there. And I love this look. Just want to go inside and make sure. Now this is going to be the, if you've played the Uncharted game, you know that there is a little slide that goes down. It's kind of like a muddy slide that it's shoots you out. And tried to come up with a way of making it automatic. Wasn't able to do that, but I did come up with a way where the path will act as a rail, so as long as you hop on it, you're going to get the effect of sliding down the mud. Now we start to get into the special effects. I've already dropped some of the decorations inside of the prison. Some of it is interior items, some of it is just standard toy box. Now we're going to start adding the flames and the smoke. And again, this is very, very accurate as to what the Uncharted map has. You have a lot of oil drums that are on fire. You have building sections that are on fire. Even this little sparking camera, they've got a fuse panel that's spitting out sparks. So I really think that we did a good job of capturing the feel of it. This is going to be the main yard, and that's where a lot of the fighting will take place. Just going back here into the general population area to add a couple of support columns, which also, again, something featured in the Uncharted map, and I wanted to get that here as well. And just drop in a little bit of decor to make it look like a battle area. As we get to the outside of the prison, and I still haven't quite worked out all the details on what I want to do with this, although I've got a pretty good idea. This will probably be the final battle scene here. And the theory is, or the idea is, that you're not only escaping the prison, but then you have to have a getaway plan. So if you know anything about Uncharted, there's a lot of planes coming in and managing to escape via plane. So that's what's going to happen here. You're going to be rescued by a plane that's going to fly in and get you, but in order for that to happen, you will have to secure this area so that they can do that. So that's the part that I am now working out, and that'll probably be the final stage of the single player. This will not exist in the multiplayer because it's just going to be a combat game, 1v1, and we'll set up probably a best of 3 rounds or something like that. And I may do a separate video for that, I'm not sure, but the only thing that would be different is the logic, so maybe not. Alright, we're going to work one more time. We're back in the main prison yard. Got some more of the decor put in there, and one of the things they have in here are some of the buildings. Very similar to what we have with our pirate loadouts, and I'm going to use some of that. It's basically the watchtower sort of thing for the yard where you would guess the guards or the warden or whatever kind of reside and look in and making sure everybody's where they need to be. So in the Uncharted game, when you get to this portion of the map, this building is en fuego. So we're going to replicate that, of course, with some smoke and fire and other special effects in just a few moments. Top it off with some of the roof pieces, and then we'll go to the special effects after that. Alright, wasn't sure if I was going to show this part or not. I didn't want to give too much of the game away in advance. But we're working on the actual logic of the game itself at this point. You'll see some of the fire and smoke going off in the background already. This is the actual competition. It's going to be a King of the Ring sort of thing, which again, very similar to the recent DLC for Uncharted, which actually King of the Hill, excuse me. So with the King of the Hill, there is a circular area that appears on the map randomly, and it's a race to get there, and then you have to secure it. So the way this one will work, and I got the idea from Cryptic Fox. If you're not familiar with his channel, please go check him out, because he is amazing when it comes to these builds. Now in his case, he was doing a multiplayer. Again, I'm doing a single player. So how does that work? Well, I'm not looking for the AI guys to gain points. There's nothing to advantage that. What I want is for me to have to stay, player one to have to stay inside that circle for X amount of minutes or seconds. So in this case, we're looking at 60 seconds, in which point you have to gain, I believe, 55 points, if I'm not mistaken. Well, that means you can only be outside that circle a maximum of 5 seconds for the period of a minute, with all these guys trying to kick your butt out of it. And that's going to be that section of the map, and that will be the challenge. So I'm still tweaking it because I want it to be tough, but at the same point in time, I'll beat the game sooner or later, right? And this will be the challenge that'll probably lead you throughout the map. So guys, that's pretty much it as far as the under construction that I'm going to be doing for the Prison Break game. It should be done, I am really hopeful, by the end of the week, and it'll be posted. So if you are on my friends list, you'll be able to pull it off that way. Of course, that's the only way to get them now. There are no more servers, so feel free to add me, Old School WWF, on the PlayStation Network. And until next time, keep on building.